Okay, so let's get right into it. On February 17th, 2026, something really, really strange happened. You had these two events, thousands of miles apart, that took place within 1 minute of each other. And together, they sent this massive shockwave through intelligence agencies all over the world. On one hand, you have this huge show of military force, and on the other, this very quiet, very delicate diplomatic negotiation. And the timing? Well, the timing, as you'll see, was absolutely everything. So check out this timeline, because you really can't make this stuff up. At 5:16 a.m. Eastern Time, Iranian state media announces, hey, we're firing live missiles. And by the way, we're closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is, only the world's most important oil choke point. Then, get this, just 1 minute later, at 5:17 a.m., the AP breaks the news that the US and Iran are in the middle of these super sensitive nuclear talks in Geneva. So you've got missiles and diplomats all happening at literally the same time. And that, right there, that's what this is all about. This was not a scheduling mix-up. This was a message, plain and simple. A carefully constructed, incredibly high-stakes message. And our job today is to decode it. What in the world was Iran trying to say? So to really get what they're saying, you first have to understand the power Iran already had in the Persian Gulf. They've spent decades meticulously building out what military folks call the Hormuz kill chain. And it all starts with just basic geography. Look at the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, it's only 21 nautical miles wide. That's it. Now think about the sheer volume of global trade, all that oil that has to squeeze through that tiny bottleneck every single day. Any ship in that channel is, for all intents and purposes, a sitting duck. So what is this kill chain we're talking about? The best way to think about it is like a spider's web. It's a military strategy built on layers that all overlap, with backups for the backups. The whole point is, if an enemy breaks one strand of the web, there are 10 more to catch them. The goal is simple: total, undeniable control. And when you look at the pieces, it's pretty intense. You've got radar stations parked on these little islands right in the middle of the strait. You've got long-range targeting systems, missile batteries lining the coast, and swarms of these little super-fast attack boats. Their whole job is to just overwhelm a ship's defenses, what analysts call a saturation attack. It's impossible to track them all. And on top of that, they claim they have eyes on everything, 24/7, in the air, on the sea, and even underneath it. So that's the threat everyone already knew about. But on February 17th, they showed off a brand new toy. And this, right here, this is where everything changes. Because during that drill, they didn't just fire off the old stuff. They unveiled a completely new weapon. And it was this one little detail, kind of buried in a statement from a commander, that just, it completely rewrote the rules of the game. Yeah, the head of the IRGC Navy, Rear Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, he came out and said it himself. He talked about a new ballistic missile with, and this is his phrase, exceptionally high accuracy. And then he added this line, which is just, wow. He said, our enemies have seen its accuracy. I mean, talk about a direct message. This wasn't some internal test. This was a show, a performance for a very specific audience. And if you want to see just how big of a deal this is, just look at the numbers. Before this, Iran's best anti-ship missiles could go maybe 300 kilometers. This new one, we're talking more than 1,375 kilometers. That is a massive, massive jump. But honestly, the range isn't even the scariest part. The real game changer is the guidance system. It went from a simple point-and-shoot weapon to one with something called mid-course correction. Okay, so what the heck does mid-course guidance even mean in plain English? It means the missile is smart. It can get new instructions while it's flying. It can literally change its mind and adjust its path mid-flight. Now, you don't build that kind of technology to hit a stationary building. No way. You build it to hunt something that's moving, something that's actively trying to get away, something exactly like a US aircraft carrier. And that's the whole point, isn't it? This weapon has one target written all over it. It's designed to go after the biggest, baddest symbol of American military power on the planet, the aircraft carrier. See, up until this very moment, a U.S. carrier like the USS Abraham Lincoln would typically operate about 700 kilometers off the Iranian coast. And the thinking in the Pentagon was that this was the safe zone, far enough away to be out of reach of anything Iran could seriously throw at it. Or so they thought. And then, just like that, poof, that 700-kilometer safety bubble completely evaporated. This new missile has nearly double that range. The entire concept of a safe standoff distance just disappeared. The whole strategic map has been redrawn. The old math just doesn't work anymore. So now you've got military planners in the Pentagon, you've got sailors on the deck of that carrier, and they are all forced to ask this one really, really uncomfortable question. Where exactly is safe now? Is anywhere safe? Which brings us full circle all the way back to those quiet talks happening in Geneva. Because this is where it all clicks into place. The hardware, the missile, and the diplomacy, the talks. They're not two separate stories. They're two sides of the very same coin. It's all one story. And to understand that story, you have to look at the nuclear piece of the puzzle. Right now, Iran is sitting on a huge pile of highly enriched uranium. We're talking 60% pure. Experts say they could take that and enrich it up to weapons grade, 90%, in just a matter of weeks. And here's the kicker. The international inspectors, they've been kicked out. They haven't been allowed to verify any of this for months. Plus, you have all these credible reports of a secret parallel enrichment program. So basically, the rest of the world is flying completely blind. So let's just walk through the logic here, because it's actually pretty straightforward when you lay it out. Step 1. You neutralize the main way an enemy can strike you, which is the aircraft carrier. So you build a missile that can sink one. Step 2. You don't just build it, you show it off to the whole world so they know it works. Step 3. That public demonstration now becomes a powerful deterrent. Suddenly, the idea of attacking your nuclear site seems incredibly risky, maybe even suicidal. And step 4. That deterrent creates a shield that gives you the time and space to pursue a nuclear breakout if that's what you choose to do. And that is the message. That is what this whole thing was about. This new superweapon isn't really about sinking ships in a conventional war. It's about creating strategic immunity. It's a shield designed to make Iran's nuclear ambitions untouchable. And just in case anyone missed the point, on the exact same day as the missile test and the Geneva talks, Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, came out with this statement. I mean, he's not being subtle here. He is talking directly to the United States. And he concluded with this. You see? The message from the military, from the diplomats, and from the supreme leader himself was perfectly synchronized, down to the minute. And it leaves you with this really chilling thought. The ultimate purpose of this weapon might not be to win a war, but to make the very idea of starting one too costly for anyone to even contemplate. And behind that impenetrable shield, Iran would be free to pursue its ultimate goal. The question now for everyone is, what happens next?